eBay rule changes. It's now free to sell on eBay, but that has come at a price. Getting your money out of eBay is a pain, and some people are having to wait 15 days, even 30 days when they're selling their coins on eBay. It sucks, and I've also found that my own personal eBay, from non-coin related stuff, sales have fallen off a cliff. eBay is changing, and not necessarily for the good. There are some good things, but there's also a lot of really quite annoying and bad things about the whole rule changes for eBay, and they might come to you very soon. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another Precious Metal Ramble, where we shoot the breeze about all things precious and shiny. And I want today to talk about the changes that have happened with eBay. It's now free to sell on eBay in the UK, which is great if you're a private seller. No more are the days of 10, 12, 13% eBay fees. And it certainly has had a big impact on the individual coin selling world. If you're just an individual that's got some coins to sell, it's happy days, you've been able to sell them. However, some rule changes have come into effect now about buyer's fees, and it's questionable about whether they've been fully implemented yet, but we'll touch more on that in this video. The big change is about payments and the fact that some people are having to wait 2-3 weeks to get their money, and even longer if you're a new seller as well. There are certainly some horror stories about people having money put on hold for a full month before they can get access to it. And it really does have a big impact, because if you're selling something and you need the money to pay a bill or just to get by, then that's not really an avenue of option anymore. So whilst this is UK focused, you can bet your bottom dollar that it's going to come to the US and the wider world at some point. eBay are changing the way that they work to compete with the likes of Vinted or even Whatnot, the live selling auction platform. And I think it's to the detriment of private sellers ultimately. There's some good, but there's also some bad. And we're going to talk about that and my personal experiences of selling bits and bobs on eBay, whether it be coins or indeed personal possessions, and some of the misinformation that's out there about selling on eBay. There's a lot of people who go, oh God, selling on eBay now is awful because you're going to get reported to the tax authorities and you have to pay loads of tax. There are a lot of misunderstandings out there regarding that. So we're hopefully going to shed some light on that whole world here today without giving formal financial and tax advice. But we'll go into more detail as we go throughout the video. Do remember to like and also hit the subscribe button if you want to see videos like this in the future. And go and check out the other videos I've done on this whole situation of eBay rules changes. I think it's really important to keep abreast of the situation, and certainly if you're in the US, because I do think these rule changes are going to come and be rolled out there at some point in the future. So, big changes on payments. That's really the big thing I want to talk about. We did a video a few weeks ago about the rule changes for buyer's fees, and it's a bit unknown whether they've been fully implemented yet. Some people are reporting that they're seeing them, some people are not, and it's just a little bit up in the air. It's certainly making it less competitive to sell things at the really low value end because of this 75p flat fee that goes on top of the 4%. So if you're selling something for just £2, suddenly that is, quite a lot more expensive. But the big killer is about the payments. If you send something unregistered, so without tracking, and eBay doesn't know whether it's been delivered or not. So prime example for me is I've been selling some of my old trading cards, my old collectible trading cards, and some of them you'll sell for just £1 or £2 each. And I've been doing that since the rule changes. I thought when they put this free to sell thing down a few months ago, great, this is a great opportunity just to sell some of these low value things and get them going out the door. And it was fantastic whilst it lasted. But from the 4th of February to now, to put in perspective, I sold probably about 50 or 60 individual listings of various different small trading cards and books and old personal possessions and things like that. And it was pretty steady. I was getting a sale every couple of days, sometimes multiple sales in a given day. It was going very well and it was fantastic. Decluttering, my life felt great again. Since the 4th of February, I've made 3 sales. That's the change, that's the difference here. So there's definitely something that's happened there on the rule changes, the visibility. I think what's also happening is eBay are basically only selling promoted items, really. You have to pay for those promotions. Interestingly enough, I did get a little offer that came through, £15 credit for promoted listings. So I put that on there and I still haven't made any sales in the last week. So I don't know, eBay just really seem to be shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. Now, the difference here is that I'm a private seller on that side of things. So if you were a business seller and you're registered a business seller, you've probably not seen too much. In fact, you've probably seen a little uptick in your sales, I reckon, because now eBay are focusing more on the business seller side of things. They're trying to get people to register as business sellers. And to be honest, I'm surprised that my personal account hasn't yet been flagged as that, although I am completely just selling my own private personal possessions and things that I've accumulated over my adult life, having a disposable income. But it's the frequency of the trades. And this is where a lot of the misinformation comes into play, because there are rules in the United Kingdom by which if you make, I think it's 30 individual sales in a given year, or sell over £1,000 worth of goods in that year, you get reported to the tax man. And everyone balks and shies away from this and goes, well, that's a deal breaker because I'm going to have to pay tax on these things. And, for me, I've been selling some of these trading cards. Some of them are a little bit valuable, some of them for a couple of quid here and there, but some of them 10, 15, 20 quid a pop. And, some people might think, well, there's no point in selling them at that because I'm going to have to pay my income tax on that. Well, no, you don't. Because if you're just selling stuff that is your personal possessions and it's not trading, then you've got nothing to worry about. And that is the biggest thing that people get confused about from this whole eBay reporting situation. You need to do some research. You need to do your own individual sort of research into what the tax rules are for you and your situation, whether you're buying to make a profit and things like that. Even if you're buying to make a profit based on like it being an investment product, an investment vehicle, you can still get away with not being trading if you've owned it for a certain amount of time, if you've had it in a collection, if part of a collection. That is a thing that is real. Badges of trade, give it a Google. It's well worth it if you're worried about that kind of thing. So definitely not something to worry about, but people actively do. The big change, though, that I really want to focus on here is around the selling and payment schedules. So what has changed? So for me, in that time period between, I think it was November last year and end of January, early February, you could sell and you got your payment through and you would get a bank's transfer out the next day. So you'd have that money straight away. Now, if you sell something that's not sent registered post, you have to wait up to 15 days to get it. So I've had a few sales, as I said, since the 4th of February. And the 3 or 4 that I've had, the earliest payout is like the 25th of February because it was like 15 days after when I made it. And the latest one I've currently got, which I made a sale about 5 days ago, I think is early March. And it's not a lot of money, but it's like 10 quid here and there. It's just stuff that I can't get access to. You have to factor that in and plan for that if you are looking to sell things. Now, my experiences there are, of course, with non-coin related stuff. They're just bits and bobs that I've accumulated, trading cards, books, whatever it might be. But it does apply to coins too. Now, there are also stories that I've heard and seen on social media and the Silver Forum and the like, that there are people who have sold coins. It might be a sovereign, it might be a proof sovereign. In fact, I had an email from a customer who wanted to look to sell a proof sovereign through our buyers club. And it's one of those ones, unfortunately, where I just go to him and say, well, look, my service isn't quite suited for that. And unfortunately, with the market, you're probably only looking at around £550 to £600 for the coin. And he was like, well, I want more than that. And I said, well, that's just where it is for my service. Sorry, you probably best trying eBay. It's free to sell there now. And he did. And he came back and he emailed me and he said he got $650 for his coin, which is brilliant. Fantastic. He then emailed me about 2 days after to say that his money was on hold with eBay for 30 days because he's not ever sold with them before. And even though he sent it special delivery and it's been received, feedback's been left, he still has to wait 30 days for his money. And that sucks. That really does suck. And a lot of people have found that to be a pretty big deal breaker. Certainly from my perspective, if I was looking to sell something because I had a bill to pay, eBay would not be the place that I put it up for sale. If I needed to sell something just because I want to declutter, yeah, sure, it's an avenue by which you can sell. And is it more competitive than it was before? Arguably, yes, but it's still a bit of a mess. And I don't know what the long-term solution is on eBay really for private sellers. I found, as I said, sales completely fell off a cliff. And I do think that those will continue to be reduced. It sucks and it just is what it is. But look, I start to ramble. It is what it is. I think I will still use eBay for my own personal stuff, but for coins and the like, it's just not worth it for me. The private market is just much better. Now, Cool Kids Club members, you need to quote me this serial number to be extra cool, and it is RC000657. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.